Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Tribe Calls. Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited for you to be here. I'm excited, really just selfishly, I'm excited because we have a guest today who is somebody that I admire. He's passionate about what he's doing right now. He's got big goals and big vision, and he's making it happen. And also, I'm excited selfishly because I'm going to get to learn a little bit about an industry that I don't really know much about at all. And actually I kind of have like my own perception of what it is. And after just my little bit of exposure that I've had to Marc, it doesn't seem that it's that way, or at least he's doing things differently. So I'm excited to bring him in. We're going to bring him out here in just a second. If you're watching live, feel free to drop some questions, comments, heckles, whatever. And if you're watching this after the fact, that's fine too. Drop some comments. I'm sure Marc won't mind circling back and commenting and answering any questions. So also tag a friend, share this, especially if you're in Roseville. I want to get this video out to people so that they can understand a little bit more about this industry. We're talking to Marc Allen, who just opened Amethyst Grove in Roseville, which is an assisted living residential home. So here we go. Let's bring him out. All right.
That intro was amazing. I felt like I was being called out to a basketball game or something like that.
Man. Well, hey, we had to bring a hot intro for you, man, because you're in this bright, new, beautiful space behind you, and we had to bring the heat. So
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me. This is an honor. I love what's going on.
Cool, man. Well, if you followed any of the other tribe calls, like, this really started as like me just connecting with my people, and I'm going to ask you some questions so I can learn. And the whole premise of this show really is so that other people that are in my network can learn the same things I'm learning. So
I love it.
First and foremost, though, like I want to talk about your business. I want to talk about Amethyst Grove. I want to talk about the industry and like learn a little bit there. But first, I want to dive deeper into like tell people who don't know you, because like I know you, right? I've known you since high school, freshman football.
Yeah.
that I actually didn't even play. I made it out to like tryouts, and I was like, I think these guys got it under lock right now. So
yeah,
but, so I've always known you as a guy that's focused, right? Like you were always in the gym, like you were dedicated, and but like share with everybody else like more of your story and who you are. And
yeah, so it's interesting because up until this point, I mean, I've owned my personal training business for 13 years, and it's something that I got into while I was going to college down in Southern California. And it's interesting because it was one of those jobs that kind of just like I stumbled into. It wasn't necessarily a calling per se, but it was something I've always been a 3-sport athlete. It was easy to transfer that over into the personal training lifestyle and focusing and really pushing people's health and stuff like that. But the major change for me was 6.5 years ago. And that's when I got that call and my phone I kept ringing and ringing. And I was at work, so I normally don't answer my phone. And I'm like, something feels weird, and it's down in like your solar plexus, like your gut. You're like, something's wrong. I pick up the phone and it's your dad's dead. That's the first thing that I heard. I'll never forget that. It's an interesting way to hear that information. And it's just like, whoa. I just like sat down and I just like, okay, all right. First thing I thought about is, what would my dad want me to do? He wouldn't want me to sit in a corner and like rock and like with a straight jacket on. So I was like, all right, let's go see him. Let's get back to work. I was back at work the next day, and I became the executor of his estate, and I just started taking care of business. And for me, I do better handling things in action. I don't shut down. I get busy, and I'm processing what happened. Then 3 years after that, I get the same call. It's the same familiar feeling, but it's in the nighttime, and I'm getting this strange feeling. My sister keeps calling me. My mom passed away at 53. So my dad was 49. My mom was 53. They both passed away in their sleep for reasons we still don't know. It's kind of strange. I kind of wish I did know so I could, be a little more. I mean, I already live a pretty healthy lifestyle, but you kind of wish you knew, like, something specific, cancer or heart attack. But, it was just, that was a big wake up call. So when my mom passed, that hurt in a different way. I'm a huge mama's boy. Like, my mom was my mom and dad for most of my life. She's actually one of my role models. And when she passed, that's when I really started looking at life differently. I started diving heavy into books. I used to hate reading because that was one of my punishments. And to get through college, we had to read a whole bunch of books that we didn't want to read. So I started reading Eckhart Tolle, Discovering Your Life's Purpose. It changed my life. Like, it started making me ask those difficult questions. Do you like what you do? Do you like the friends that you're around? Are you around people that inspire you or secretly bring you down? And it's tough. It's tough to get real with yourself like that, because sometimes in our life we get so busy, we don't ask ourselves the difficult questions. And we're kind of just okay with what's comfortable. And to be honest with you, I was comfortable. I was comfortable training. I made a comfortable living. We were just doing comfortable things. But when my mom passed, I was like, I don't align with this anymore. And I was driving by the Human Being, a coffee place over in Rockland. And after reading that book by Eckhart Tolle, I was driving and I looked over, and that's because I saw a human being behind her in the peripheral. And I was like, I think I'm done training. And that's a huge ego hit, right? Because I'm Marc the trainer. I've been a trainer for 13 years. I never had to identify or associate myself with another profession. But I started getting real with myself. And then I started asking the question, like, okay, if this is what you're going to be real about, you have to be real about, being open to something that actually calls to you, something that truly aligns with you, not something you just stumble into, but something that's calling. And I know that sounds cliche, but that happened for me. I literally was like, okay, after both my parents passed, I'm like, what is God? What is the universe? What is source trying to tell me right now? And I was like, give me a sign. Point me in whatever direction. Like, I'm surrendering. I'm like, I'm admitting to myself, I'm dissolving the ego. And I was like, just point me in any direction. I've never done that before. So you don't know what to expect, right? So I was this is 2 years ago in March. I was visiting my buddy down in San Diego, and I get my phone bleeps. It was a Facebook message from a new client. She was asking about training. So it ended up being that client that randomly was like, yeah, so she had to cancel one of her sessions and move it to a later time. She's like, yeah, one of my employees quit last night. And I was like, okay. So I saw her the next day at our adjusted time. And I was like, your employees, like, what do you do where you have to fill in for someone at nighttime? Like, what kind of job do you have? She was like, I own care homes. And I was like, okay, I've never been in one. I never had to place, my grandmother's just now having early Alzheimer's, but my grandfather's so healthy, he's able to take care of her. And my grandparents on my mother's side already passed. So we never had to interact or engage with an assisted living, memory care, or anything like this. So when she was talking about it, like I was getting the spidey senses. It was just like, everything in my body was like, look into this. And she was like, yeah, there's a course happening. This is the course that I took, and I looked it up, and they just so happened, they teach it all over the state of California, but they were just, the next month they were teaching it in Sacramento. I was like, I got to get into this. Yeah. So I signed up for it, and then I've never took my foot off the gas. I've never went so hard towards something in my life. And it's shown me a lot. It's shown me that I never want to be comfortable again. Now, let me be specific though. I never want to be comfortable with whatever it is I'm doing. I want to always be uncomfortable in something that I align with. So whether that's doing this and I love it, and say it turns into 5 homes, say I want to get into another space and help people in a different category. I always want to challenge myself, because that's where I learn the true growth comes. because when you kind of look back over your life when you're comfortable, it's like, what did you really truly grow at? What did you excel? What new skills did you adapt? Who are you meeting to, grow your tribe, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So I made that promise to myself that I'm always going to keep myself in an uncomfortable state, but with positive things. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you can be in uncomfortable situations and negative stuff, but I keep approaching things that are uncomfortable. I keep like getting in uncomfortable zones and challenging myself, and it's crazy what you'll learn about yourself, man.
Yeah. Kind of like agreeing to go live on Facebook and YouTube and open up about some
Exactly. And even you were there yesterday at the grand opening. Like I'm not a public speaker, but like I'm trying to, I'm doing it. And it's like, I thought about it and I knew there was going to be an opportunity where I might say something, but I didn't know it was going to be speech.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I went into it. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. And just, a lot of it just comes from the heart. So it's like, you can never go wrong, as long as you go by those rules. You just let your heart speak and let it lead you to whoever you need to lead to. That's why you and I are still good friends. And I met a lot of great people. It's interesting coming from the fitness industry. This industry is a loving industry, man. It is crazy. There's literally angels put here on earth to like care for people. And that's where I'm like, these are my people. These are the people that I need to be associated with and help people, truly help people.
So that's when you say that, right? When you say this, you're speaking of the assisted living industry, right?
Yes.
It makes sense to me as you say that. It totally makes sense to me. Yeah, like anybody that's willing to devote, the amount of time and energy, and a lot of cases like they live on site and stuff. At least from what I understand, like yeah, like they're special people for sure.
Yeah.
My experience, very, very limited experience that I've had with like, an assisted, or what I understand to be an assisted living, it wasn't great, and like I've seen, and being in real estate, I've seen some houses that have gone up for sale that are, that are assisted living homes, and they're being sold as a, the property and the business is being sold. And it's like, the photos weren't like, the house looks kind of beat up. Like I don't have like a great image of what this industry is.
And if I can fill in for that, it's interesting too. Statistically, most people, someone even said this yesterday because they asked me my story. They're like, this is a unique story. And they're like, most people typically it's 70% women and 70% of an ethnic background.
Yeah.
I'm a man, so I'm already going against the odds. But a lot of people too grew up in the industry, so they either saw their parents do it and run it as like a mom and pop kind of style, and then so they kind of saw that and kind of got early exposure to it. I kind of thought that I had a slight advantage because I didn't see it operated as a mom and pop. So although I was starting to really immerse myself in it 2 years ago, I really wanted to see the broad spectrum of like, okay, I want to do something like more personal and do it on a smaller scale, because I've seen the escatons, I've seen the bigger communities, and it didn't seem personalized enough. You can only be so personal when you're watching that many people, and so the goal for me was to find a home that was new and it promoted life and open floor plans, like right here, like this is the room that I'm sitting in now, which is the dining room that combines to the great room. This is what sold it for me. This is where we spend 70% of our time with the residents at this dining table that I'm at now. I mean, we do activities here, we do birthdays, we'll do chef cook dinners on Friday nights. It's like, so I know that the aesthetics only go so far, but it's like, this is what gets people to be like, okay, this is different. And then when we add, the amazing level of care, and like I'm hiring people that have that heart. I know it's hard to ask that question in an interview, but like you can tell who's got the heart, and it's almost like you're speaking without words, just the way that they answer, just what their story is, kind of like how you're asking me. you can feel the vibration coming across the table that we're sitting at right now. I'm like, as soon as they leave, I look to my wife, I'm like, we need this person. We need them. It doesn't matter if they have no experience. We can teach the experience. Some of the people do have experience, but we're hiring heart. We're not just trying to get warm bodies in here to watch people. We're doing something different. And that's kind of where I see we have the advantage, because we can do that. We're taking the time. It's not, even if it takes us another 2 months to find the right people, that's what it will be, because this is the first home. So like we got to do it how the vision was constructed from the beginning. And that's why, we did go with a newer home. We have all the new features, sprinkler system, the whole nine, just to add that extra level of niceness.
Okay. So yeah, let's kind of, we went deep, right? We went kind of hot, and also like, we kind of got out there, right? A little bit. So let's bring it back to, yeah, no, I love it, man. And wow, what a powerful story. I think when we're going to share this out, across a bunch of different channels, I'm going to highly recommend that any human, whether they're interested in assisted living or not, at least watch like the first 8 minutes of this, because man, what a powerful message you have, like, for real. Might be the first guy that made me tear up on one of my tribe calls, but
oh man, it's just like I said, it's all, everything is guided through spirit. So that's good.
So let's get back to or not, let's get back, let's get down to business a little bit. Like, tell us about Amethyst Grove.
So Amethyst Grove, it's a residential home. We have a capacity for 6. Able to keep it nice and personalized, exclusive. We're able to tailor it really for each resident. So someone came by and was like, do you have any activities already planned? I'm like, we don't have our first resident yet. So how do we have, all I know is that we're going to do exercises every day because that's my background. And that's a plan that I know that we can put in now, but we want to tailor and customize it. And that's something that we pride ourselves on being able to do, and to being able to, get their favorite foods in here and stuff like that. But we are a memory care. So we will be dealing with people with Alzheimer's, dementia, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's. I mean, and we also can take slightly mentally ill residents as well, depending on their level of needs and stuff like that. So it's really cool, because this is the population that really needs us. They need that attention. It's tough on families. It is. I've worked with someone that literally needed full level care. You're talking about every single grape has to be hand fed, every shower, every trip to the restroom. It's a full-time job. And I think people, as much as we love our family and stuff like that, you want to be that person, but it's tough. It's tough if you have a full-time job or you have young kids at home to take care of, mom or grandma like that. It's just, so that's kind of where we step in. And my thing is, like, we're here for peace of mind. We have all the technology. We have a 3-to-1 resident to caregiver ratio. So we can just add that peace of mind so you guys can, people can go about their day, but know that their family's being taken care of by another family member, so to speak. So we're a 24-hour care. So there's always someone here. There's someone here at night. It's a knock shift. So, and then 2 caregivers will be on staff during the day. So just it's not even necessary. Like, you only have to have 1 per regulation, but I want 2. I want 2 because it's just that extra. Like, my motto is, what are other facilities not doing? And I do that within regulation. Right.
Yeah. So, okay. So the standard is, just one person in the home.
Yeah. You need 1 caregiver to watch 6 residents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why not double up on that?
Yeah.
Why not add another? Just for that peace of mind, because you don't realize it, but you could look away from your loved one for 1 minute, boom, they hit the ground. So if we can just, you can't put falling risk at 0, but by having an extra set of eyes here, and we invested in a piece of technology. I want to show that real quick. So we got this this Care Predict right here, and all the residents and caregivers wear it, and it's another form of safety. As soon as a resident, if they were to fall and they're back in one of their suites, this alerts both the caregiver's phone and it alerts my phone, and so they can get immediate attention, because sometimes residents are found on their back for 18 hours if they're like in independent living, or there's horror stories out there. I hate to bring up the ugly side, but it's just the nature of the beast. Like there's times where people are found on their back and they've been on their back for 18 hours. As soon as someone hits the ground, our phones are going off, so like we can get medical assistance and assess the situation immediately. And time is crucial in those moments.
Yeah. And so you mentioned that the staff, the caregivers are actually wearing those devices as well. So not like the residents aren't just like, obviously the residents are the most important. That's why this exists, but then your staff is wearing them too.
Yeah. I like it too, because it shows it tracks the staff to make sure who's spending time with who, make sure that they're engaging. If they're not, if someone hits their alarm, and it takes 10 minutes for 2 caregivers to get to them, it keeps everyone in check. It keeps everyone honest, and it keeps a tight ship. And I think that's important if we're going to promise a level of safety that's unlike others.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. That's impressive. So what is, I'm impressed. What's been the feedback so far, like from other?
Yeah. The feedback has been crazy. I just got to say, you guys can kind of see the decorations in the backyard, or in the background. I'm sorry, maybe the backyard too. My wife, she did everything, and I told her what the vision was, and I let her just run with it. So every single piece was picked by her, and it's a vibe. It's what I envisioned. It's new, it's modern. It still has like pieces that look kind of eclectic and like antique-ish. Like our favorite place in the world is Fort Bragg. So we imagined like, what would it look like if you dropped a farmhouse, like a home that we like a lot, out on the coast of Fort Bragg, and this is what we came up with. So yeah, we wanted to go a little bit above and beyond, and a lot of people just so much feedback has been like, you really are setting the bar high, and that to me just it means so much, because this was an idea. I wish I could show you when we first got the house. I was sitting here on the floor behind me when there was nothing in here, and I was like, this was a thought. This was a literally like thought, and I turned it into tangible, like this is a tangible dream I'm in.
Yeah, literally real estate.
I can invite people like you and my friends and my family to come into my dream, and like, look what I thought up. Like, it's surreal. It's surreal. It's like it gets your gears churning. Like, what else am I capable of? Like, how many more people can we help at this rate? I mean, I want to attract more people and help as many people as we can. So like, it's all just putting out the good vibes. So I feel like if you put out a good heart, a good product, a good service, it attracts like-minded people, and that's kind of like what you're doing with this program. You want to like connect your tribe, and like people who get it will tune in and find the benefits, and it's just crazy how it all works out.
Yeah. But
really good feedback. I'm sorry, I go off on these tangents, but I'm so, man, the passion just takes over. But we've gotten great feedback from placement agents, great feedback from friends, family. We've had a couple tours of families come through here, and they're just like, they feel like it's like a spa. It's like spa vibes. And I'm like, that's amazing. That's what we want. We don't want to come in and look like a facility where people come and just get old and it's cold, or like it smells funny, or like that doesn't promote life. We want to promote living, and the way that I look at it is like, how lucky are we that we get to spend this final chapter? Really, let's be real. This is the final chapter for these people. Yeah. How lucky are we that we get to be in that last chapter with them and make it full of bright days? All the windows will be open, light will be coming on, all the lights will be on, promoting living. What if that means someone who is only supposed to live 2 to 3 months lives an extra year, and their family gets to enjoy them that much longer? That's why I'm here. That's that's what called me to do this, is to make something that could be kind of morose and sad full of light, because we're all just energy, right? We're just light beings. We're just trying to raise the consciousness and the frequency.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and so I can attest. So I just went to your grand opening yesterday, and I mean, it's what you're saying is real. Like, it is a beautiful space. You know, it did not.
Oh, man.
I mean, I would live there.
So you said feedback, and so many people said that all of them kept trying to want to take the master bedroom, which is our only shared room, and then people wanted the front room because they have the biggest windows, and they're like, how much is it to move in? And I was like, I don't know if you fall into the category of needing to stay here, but I mean, hey, if we have some regular people move in, like we might have to restructure our business plan.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, yeah, I know there's workouts. There's a chef on Friday. I mean, it sounds like something that, you might be onto something. It doesn't necessarily have to be assisted care.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think I have more questions for you, but
hit me.
Show us.
I'm around as long as you're able to.
Cool. Well, could you want to show us around a little bit? Like pick up.
Yeah. Well, how much do you want to see?
I mean, maybe like, a couple of give us the living room area. Maybe show us the shared suite and the Fort Bragg room, right? Like the one with the.
They're all Fort Bragg rooms.
Oh.
but I'll show you. Let me show you the Fort Bragg room, because it's the first room that I show, because this is kind of what inspired the whole motif of the whole house.
Okay. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
So you can't really see this picture, but it looks like Fort Bragg.
Yeah.
So then if you look at the decor, it's kind of hard to show. So we got can you see?
Yep.
You got little recliner chair. Everyone's got their bed. People are able to bring in their own furniture if they want, or if they have to bring in a hospital bed, that's okay too. I'll break everything down. Everyone has a TV so they can watch their favorite shows, or we have music channels on here, or even if someone wants to bring in a USB and plug in pictures of their family or something like that. I mean, we don't want people to be watching TV all day, but also, you know how some people are about their shows, and we don't want to turn them away from their shows. But so we have 4 private rooms. This is kind of the entrance. Maybe if I go outside and show you what it's like when you first come in. Can you see?
Yep.
Yeah, so you just kind of come in here. This is kind of the greeting area, the catch-all, where people can sit on that bench and, kind of tie their shoes or put their booties on and stuff like that. Yeah, all the greenery and stuff like that. So here's the shared room. Am I moving too fast?
No, this is good.
Okay.
I mean, you're rolling with it, and I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I think
of course. So this is the shared. So every room is furnished. Every room has, its own nightstand and dresser and recliners. Again, if you can see, giant window, fully constructed backyard with turf and areas for activities. You can see the flower beds back there. We wanted to keep those blank so anyone who moves in can customize it. And, say mom loves sunflowers or growing tomatoes. I mean, they can kind of, that's kind of one of the benefits of being the first resident here. You can kind of get the custom treatment and the special one-on-one honorary member.
Nice.
Here's the shared. Shared has its own.
Okay.
Own master bath with the shower, individual sinks and stuff like that.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
So yeah. Anything else?
No, I mean, I love it. Yeah, it's beautiful. I think those were some 2 great rooms to show, because there's so much light and it just kind of.
But this is my favorite. This is when I first walked in. It looked like this. So I'm gonna do it. This might look weird, but we first came in and we met the owners, and we were like, right when I saw this, I was like, this is our house.
Yeah.
It's just a big, great room. And this is where we'll spend so much time doing activities like trivia and games and bingo and stuff like that. So we got our big dining table, 8 persons. So all 6 residents can sit, but also the caregivers too, because we want everyone to feel like family and not just, no one wants to be sitting off to the edge right here, like, like kind of huddled in. Like I want everyone to feel like purposeful, like everyone was put here for a reason.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Beautiful, man. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thanks for the tour. Hey, so, you know, the neighbors, have any neighbors stop by, or have you showed them around, or
The neighbor next door came. Yeah, I kind of like I introduced myself as like, this is what we're doing. So they kind of don't know either. So I wanted to invite people so they kind of see it's not like, you know, you see the funny shows like what was it, Billy Madison, where Ben Stiller was like, oh, making the grandmas
yes,
knit stuff and for money and stuff like that. It's not like that. It looks like a home. It looks like a home that you and I would live in, and that was kind of the goal. We didn't want it to look like a facility or have like, you know, furniture that mismatched. Like everything was purposefully chosen to kind of get the whole vibe. So all of our homes will look like this. So it's just they're all homogenous. Like, you know, you're at Amethyst Grove when you come through the door.
yeah.
Yeah, so we want the community to welcome us. You know, we don't, because just like me, like 3 years ago, I didn't know. I would think like, oh, people are dying every day, ambulances are coming up, but it's just not like that. And just for a little more education, like the fire department and the ambulances, and they know that this is a residential area. So normally when they come through the community, if there is an emergency, they don't sound their sirens. That's
Right.
only in the street. So, but we think they're like that all the time. But when they come down in a residential, especially if it's in the nighttime, they will. But you know, just like anyone else, even if I'm hurt, I want someone to come rescue me. Like, not like just because I live in a home, like I still want to be rescued. But so it's really not that different. And you know, the odds are different since we only have 6 people that will live here. It's not like that. It's not super busy with a whole bunch of cars. It's not what you think. It kind of helps by inviting the community in so they get a feel for how it really is, unlike what they might have a predisposed, you know, opinion about.
100%. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly why I asked, you know, based on my limited experience that I had prior to learning about yours, like I would not be stoked about a, you know, a house like this starting up in my neighborhood. And
Yeah.
And sorry, not a house like this, an assisted living home starting up in my neighborhood. But I would be completely fine with a house like this. So that's why I asked. I hope the neighbors I hope more of them experience this and see what you're all about.
It will. It'll be some time, but we have an open door. I would love for anyone, if they're in the neighborhood, to come by and just, I want to be embraced by the community. I don't want it to be, oh, like that's just, you know, don't talk to them. Like, we want to go out there and be friendly, and even the community might have kids that want to come over and volunteer, or, you know, sing songs or read to the seniors and stuff like that. So there's a way to where it can really be beneficial to both sides. It's not just, you know, it's not just us like, yeah, come help us out, but like there's a beautiful thing when you get young people with our older generation. It's just, they can learn so much and help kind of bridge the gap, because a lot of especially in our society, sometimes our elderly are really forgotten about, you know. So it's a nice way to kind of bring the younger kids around and kind of like show them, like, you know, the circle of life, so to speak.
Sure. Well, and you know what's interesting is there are in Roseville, there are about like 50 neighborhood established, like not quite full-blown associations, but they're, you know, let's call it, there's 50 neighborhoods, right? Yeah. Like kind of big areas, like a Fitiment Farms or a West Park or a Highland Reserve, or, you know, there are 100, from what I found in my research preparing for this call, there are 120 assisted living facilities.
Yeah.
And you know, and 50,000 homes, right, in Roseville. So chances are there's one in your neighborhood already, right? And
True.
So it's not such a, I guess it's not as quite of an odd thing, or you know, maybe not.
And to capitalize on that a little bit, the truth of the matter is that the baby boomers are now starting to come into this category of needing this type of help. And oddly enough, people are starting to get dementia at younger ages. I mean, I've taken care of someone who was 62 and had dementia already. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's lifestyle or the food is too processed nowadays. Like it's crazy, but I'm glad that there's places like this to help, because like if you figure if someone goes into assisted living and or even memory care at 70, and some people are living until late 80s 90s, I mean, you still have another 20-30 years. So like you got to figure out how your quality of life, and your quality of life is going to be a lot better with a place that's established specifically to specialize towards your needs, and that's kind of one of the opposites about having in-home care versus a place like this. People don't retrofit their home, so you have someone going through dementia trying to walk down the stairs and their hips are bad because they're thinking that it's back in 1960 and they're a young spring chicken and they fall down the stairs, or they're playing with knives or leaving the stove on. So everything here is under regulation, where we have to think about all those little things about where are all the knives at, where are the chemicals, because when you're struggling with memory issues, if you look at a jar of hand soap, I mean, it kind of looks like soda. It might look like a honey or some sort of liquid that's drinkable. And there's so many cases of people drinking chemicals and poisoning themselves. So here we have all the regulations where we're already a step ahead in protecting, and we have alerts. So also another factor from the safety technology that we have is like sometimes people will just escape their community or be found out on the streets. So we have devices that log like, hey, someone is opening the door, someone left, and the siren, and all of our phones will be going like code red, code red. So it's like we can go catch them while they're walking down the path, because we're not able to restrain people and lock people into their rooms or anything like that. A lot of people forget too, is just because someone is having memory problems, they're still our seniors. Like they're our elder. Like we still have to respect them. And that's another thing that I think people forget, is just because they're not able to take care of themselves, it doesn't mean, I mean, some of these people are veterans of war. Some of these people are retired nurses themselves. It's like, we have to remember, like, we're not dealing with babies. We're dealing with adults that have, some of them have been on the earth almost for a century, and we need to bring like love and respect and keep their dignity and their independence going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just, that was one of the things that I saw. It just, it hurt my heart so much. I saw an Army vet on his back and this is at one of the communities that I worked at, and it showed me what not to do. It was crazy. We walked into a room and he was laying on his back, and I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I come from a huge military family. So I was like, this is unethical to stay here. Like I quit. I left that job because I was like, this is crazy. But on the flip side, it taught me what to do better and to improve on. That's why I invested in the technology. Most people this size don't do technology like that, but I'm like, you'll never catch Army vet here on their back for multiple hours and, laying in their own urine. It's just, it's sad. It's sad, but there's so much room for improvement, but it just takes someone to make it, like, raise the bar and make it the new standard. And that's kind of my goal.
Do you have a vision yet? I mean, is it still a little bit too early to say, like, that you're, or what's your vision? Are you doing 5, 10, 20 of these, or are you?
I kind of already have my next 6 years planned out. My true vision, and it's crazy because it just a year ago, my vision was just to get this one, and I'm already,
Right.
People are like, people who are in the visionary world, they're like, you got it, because like you're already thinking about your next 5 moves. So like, I want to get this up and going, and I would like to maybe do 2, maybe 3 more like this. But my true goal, my 6-year plan, is to open affordable assisted living, almost like affordable housing. Because my thing is like, this place is so beautiful, but the reality of the situation is my own parents, if they were alive, couldn't afford to live here. So I want to get into a place where I'm working with philanthropists and put together something where we can open something that's just as beautiful, but for people who can't afford it. Maybe it is that military vet that just, the VA is not covering a certain amount. So like we can, hey, we'll take them. Like, and I would like to get to that point. So that's my goal. I would love to. I'm already kind of aligning with some amazing people that were truly put here just to like, for situations like this. And I'm excited because I know since I turned this into a reality, that the fact that I'm even thinking on that, it's a matter of time. You'll be talking to me again. We'll have a big community where we can get some people who still, they want to experience something nice just because they worked for the union their whole life or were railroad workers. They should still be able to enjoy the nice things. Are a school teacher of many years. Like, why can't they enjoy a lavish, upscale type feel, and that's the vision. And I know we can get it done with the people that I'm associated with.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. I know it sounds so like, it could sound so cliche, but it's like, it's what I'm learning in my journey is connections and following the heart. I know I keep saying this, but that's what moved me. And the truth, this is going to seem really random, but I was looking, one of my buddies was going through a struggle with one of his with his girlfriend with alcohol. And it was interesting that the final step, the 12th step, is to help someone else out and become someone else's, what is it, like
like a sponsor, I think they call it, right?
Become their sponsor. And I thought about that, and I took it to a whole different level. I was like, why is that the last step? And then I was like, because you're in service of someone else. It keeps you sober by being in the service of other people. The same thing applies for just being a human. How can I truly make an impact? It's being in service for others. How do I get to that point? I do this, and I do a couple more like this, and then I really position myself to where I know how to really execute and make the dream of doing affordable assisted living a reality, and where we can do it to this scale and do it to this, to this status, and be able to truly offer some people that have worked hard their whole life and deserve something nice too. But that's what I'm learning. It's weird. It's like I learned that before this even opened, is that it's all about being in the service of others. And I know that sounds weird, but that's what's keeping the fire lit. It's like, how many people can we help? It's like, I'm already excited about our 6 residents, and we don't even have them yet. I can't wait to meet them. I'm like, it's like me and my wife, we just sit and like think like, I wonder who they're out there. They're out there already. We just haven't met them yet. And it's a weird feeling, but it's like, how many other people have we not even that we're going to meet, that we're going to be able to help? How many jobs are we going to be able to supply and pay? We're paying really nice wages, and we're going to start offering benefits and all that stuff. Not common for a 6-bed facility. Normally the bigger facilities can offer that, but it's like, it's not just the residents, but how many families are going to sleep a little bit better because their family member is somewhere where they feel safe. Like Amethyst Grove has got them. We can sleep. We don't have to worry about mom, ending up on the freeway or something, escaping the house, or, or malnutritioned or over medicated and all that stuff. So it's just being in the service of other people is what moves me. And that's what put me on this path. So I just have to keep answering that call. So when I get an idea, I just run with it.
Well, I can tell that, you're obviously super passionate about it, and maybe on a, most people probably don't have access to speak directly to, or at least watch a video on the founder of a facility. So I hope more people see this. If you're watching now, share it. Who knows who needs some help. And it sounds like you have 6 spots that are open. When are you officially, when are you kicking off? Or do you have
We just got our official license on the 18th. So that was three nights ago. I was checking my emails and I was like, all right, we're coming up on month number 6, because I submitted my license back in December. And then all of a sudden, like
I saw it from my analyst, and I was like, it's go time. I didn't sleep for the next 2 nights. I was up at 2 a.m. and I was at the gym by 2:30 in the morning. I was just like, I'm so excited because I was thinking about the next steps, right? So now we got to hire our team, train them, get everyone kind of ready, and like we're having like a little get together with our team members next Saturday, just to kind of like, I want everyone to get to meet and like kind of get the next steps kind of mapped out. So yeah, so once our team is ready, we can take deposits now and get people, to hold a spot for when we do open. But I'm saying it's hard to put a number on it, but I would give us about a month to maybe a month and a half, because there's no point in rushing it. I'd rather have everyone be fully background checked, fully trained. And I mean, I'm going to be working here myself. So like, I am the admin and the founder, but I'm going to be a caregiver as well. So, I want to put the right procedures and systems in place, because that's how a well-oiled machine operates. And something else that I want to say is that it's not common that founders are always that stick with their business, but it's one of the things that I made a promise to myself, that no matter how successful we are, you will always know I'm here. Like I want to be involved, even if I'm not part of the everyday to day. So it's like, that's something that I know that I can hold myself to that standard and stay true to it, and offer that, because it's like, it's infectious, right? Like when you know that the owner is just as involved, and I mean, if I have to jump in, 2-3 years down the road and jump in and give someone a shower, that's what I'm going to do, because like, that's what I was called here to do. It wasn't to be some sort of owner out in Maui chilling on the beach. Like that's not my happy place. Like, just let me go to Fort Bragg a couple times a year and I'm good.
That's awesome, man. Well, that's a beautiful message. Your story is amazing. The house is beautiful. You and your wife have done amazing job creating this cool, super, just gorgeous environment. So,
can I say one more thing?
Of course.
I just want to leave a message for everyone, and this is just what's coming to me. Like, it's kind of raw, so I don't know how it's going to come across. The one thing that I could say, and this could be, it doesn't even have to be for this industry specific, but I was just telling my sister this earlier, because she was like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you." And I told her, I was like, my message is, you have to go where your heart takes you, and you have to take action. I know a lot of people have dreams, but the biggest thing that I learned in this whole journey so far is that everyone has dreams and stuff like that, but not many people take that action step. Like, even if it's just like making a call that you normally wouldn't, or, I mean, for me, it was, going, and I met with people that weren't even, were part of staffing companies, just to understand like how certain aspects of this business works. But you got to put yourself out there and really immerse yourself. And it doesn't mean that it maybe will be your calling, but it'll start to get the gears churning about what your true purpose is. Because I hope that it doesn't take for someone's parents to pass away like me to get that wake up call. And maybe you're sitting at a job and you're just like, man, like this 9 to 5 is not the truth. This doesn't move me. I'm not growing anymore. I don't feel like I'm living. I feel like I'm slowly just kind of like, like tuned out. You got to just take action and really take control of your life. And I can say that because for so many years I didn't. So I know the opposite of not taking action. So I'm not like, oh, I've always been like this my whole life. I got comfortable. I got comfortable to where it took my mom passing, where I was like, it's time to get uncomfortable, man. And it's been such a blessing. I just want people to feel that and not have something tragic. You don't need to be in a car accident, or, it doesn't need to be a death, but like, hear my story and change your life. Like, when someone you love, or two of the people you love the most die, it shows you how short life can be. Like, and I know we hear it all the time, like, you may live like it's your last day, but truly, like, if you don't like the job that you're in, or you don't like the relationship you're in, you got to make moves. Like, life is so short. And what I don't want to do is like be on my deathbed and be like, I wish I would have done that one thing, or spent that extra moment with my wife, or I don't know.
it's crazy. I can't stress that enough. I don't know if it's impossible to feel that without something tragic, but just if you can feel it, if even one person feels what I'm saying, like it's just, it'll change your life. It'll change your life. And it's going to be uncomfortable in the beginning because you're going to start feeling uncomfortable because you were used to comfortability, but be uncomfortable. And I promise you, I was just telling a buddy, he's going through an interesting situation with his wife. I was like, man, you're in the storm right now, but I'm so excited for you because so much is about to like happen. It just sucks because like when you're in it, it's like blast, like this, it doesn't feel good, but it's like, but you're gonna be such a better person over here. Like it may be 6 months, it may be a year, but I can't wait to talk to him at each different stage and be like, remember when I told you like it was gonna be better? It's just life does this on purpose. So we get our wake-up calls. We're always getting signs of wake-up calls, but no one's there to answer. And I'm just telling you, if you get that wake-up call, you have to answer, or you're just going to be a observer of your own life.
I love it, man. I love it. Who wouldn't want their grandparent or mother and father or aunt or sister, whoever, to be under your care? I mean, we might be careful, man. You're going to have like these, seniors accomplishing some big goals and stuff in the house.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible too for people to graduate. Say someone comes in on hospice and they're being taken care of so well. Like I can't make any promises, obviously, but I mean, people can get better. Sometimes it's just whoever's around. That's also why we're hiring people based off heart, is because it's that subconscious energy flow that just inspires life. And it's infectious, man. It's infectious. You got to be around people like that. That's like they're natural, like energizers, instant energy. When you're around people like that, you instantly just feel good and you don't even know why. Like that is, so your show is called Tribe Call. That is your tribe. You got to find your tribe. And if you're not around people that support you and want to be negative all the time, get away from it. I don't care if it's family. I don't care if it's a friend that you've had for 30 years. Like you got to make moves. Like it's like you may not seem like they're bringing you down, but it'll bring you down. So take action. Take action.
That's awesome, man. I love it. Thanks so much. I mean, you're speaking to everybody, right? Like I think, like I said, the first like 10 minutes were just fire. No matter what you're interested in, it's amazing. And then the last 10 minutes you over delivered as well. So
I'm sorry. You might need 2 hours on the next tribe call.
No, thanks so much, man. We're gonna sign off here on the broadcast, but the website is scrolling across the screen here. I didn't see really too many comments rolling through. So if after the fact, people want to reach out to you, I'm sure it's
please.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, Marc.
Thank you for having me. If you ever want to, if I'm doing something cool down the future, and you want to do this again, or this is cool. This is the first time I've ever done something like this. But like we said, I want to do things that make me uncomfortable, and now I feel comfortable.
All right. Well, I'll try to find a way for our next call to be a little bit more uncomfortable. So
I love it. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you so much.
You bet, brother. Good work, man. Nice things you're doing there. So,
Okay.
All right. We'll talk soon.
All right, man.